Welcome to the official Next High School podcast. My name is Nathan Robinson, creative specialist here at Next High School. Let's get right to it. This podcast episode is a special episode focusing on our frequently asked questions. You may be a current family who is already enrolled or been with us for a few semesters or a few years, or you may be brand new to Next High School. First of all, let's start out by saying Next High School is a free public charter school here in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, most of our students, of course, live in and around Greenville, but technically, as a statewide charter, we can accept enrollment from students who live anywhere in South Carolina. So enrollment is open at nexthighschool.org/enroll. Even as the school year is in motion, if we have spots available and open, we do have a rolling enrollment policy, so that if it's during the school year, as long as we have room in our classes and our schedule, students can enroll during the year as well. All right, but let's jump in. Frequently asked questions. Now, there's a bit of an elephant in the room, and the elephant comes in the form of a global pandemic. Just like every school in the nation, our school and our school administrators and faculty and staff, everyone is planning and thinking and watching the news and determining what is the safest and most successful plan for our students and our staff for the 2020-21 school year. We look forward to a time when our students and staff can be on campus safely in full capacity 5 days a week for the full school day. And we look forward to that day coming. Now, exactly when will that day come? That's difficult to predict, if not impossible. But our hybrid model involves dividing our student body into two cohorts so that we can have fewer students on campus to minimize contact. On the days that the students are on campus, they would follow their normal class schedule. On the days that students were not on campus, they would follow an asynchronous schedule, completing work at home, online from their Chromebooks or personal devices as assigned by the teachers that they see during class during the school day. Here's the good news. Most of the frequently asked questions, the information about our school, why we exist, and what our program is really about, have nothing to do with COVID-19 or the pandemic, right? We exist to prepare young people for life outside of school by giving them opportunities to engage life in school, right? That's our goal. That's our mission. So let's dive into a few of these questions. First, Next High School is a public charter school. So what's the difference between a public and charter school? So being a free public charter school means Next High School has no tuition fees. Your child's education is publicly funded by the South Carolina Department of Education through our district, the South Carolina Public Charter School District. If you go on the South Carolina Public Charter School District's website, you'll see a couple of definitions. So I've pulled a definition from their website just for reference. They include the following definitions of traditional public schools, magnet schools, and then charter schools. Quote, the large majority of public schools are traditional, meaning your student is zoned to a particular school and receives free transportation to and from school. Some school districts have magnet schools, which are school choice programs that a student can apply to and may or may not be accepted or invited to attend. Charter schools are also public schools, but unlike magnet schools, they do not have any admissions criteria outside of the requirement to be a resident of South Carolina. And charter schools usually have some sort of innovative theme, such as language immersion, environmental studies, or Montessori programming. All right, so that's important to note. Next High School does have an innovative theme. And our theme, our reason for existing, is Project-Based Learning, or PBL. Now, that is a model that focuses on real-world impact and preparation for life outside of school. All right, next question. What does it cost to attend a charter school? Are there any fees? Like we just walked through, as a public charter, Next High School is tuition free. We do also offer a free and reduced meal program for families who qualify, so that's breakfast and lunch. There may be fees for technology or extracurricular activities, but we do our best to keep these fees as minimal as possible. As a part of our program and our online learning systems, students are issued a school-owned Chromebook computer during their enrollment. Families may be responsible for any intentional or accidental damage of any school-owned property. Our next question. What about academics and curriculum at Next High School? Next High School follows a project-based learning model, delivering a rigorous and accredited education and South Carolina high school diploma upon graduation. Student schedules are based on a 4x4 block system. Students enroll in 4 full credits per semester instead of year-long courses. Students will meet for 4 block-style classes each day. And then, of course, when second semester rolls around, the students enrolled in 4 additional courses. Now, there are lots of advantages to a 4x4 block schedule. It mirrors more closely the collegiate system. So students going on from high school to college are enrolled in classes by semester rather than by the full academic year. But in addition to that, it allows students flexibility in their academic planning. If you do the math, 8 credits multiplied by 3 years, that's 24 credits. Well, 24 is that magic number that earns a student a high school diploma in South Carolina. If a student is completing 8 credits a year, they would have the potential to graduate early. Now, most of our students don't do that. So what do they do with the extra credits or the extra time? Well, a couple of things. First of all, they could take additional elective credits based on their interest. So additional art credits or elective sciences that allow them to custom tailor their education towards their plans after graduation or just their general interests. Another option is that by the time they get to their junior or senior year, a lot of students have some free time in their schedule. They can use that free time to pursue a number of different opportunities, whether that is an internship, work schedules outside of school, as well as college classes at local colleges or online courses as upperclassmen. And finally, the 4x4 credit model gives our students flexibility in credit recovery and making up gaps that they may have. So sometimes we have students that come to us from other high schools. Maybe they've moved around from state to state, and for some reason credits didn't transfer, or maybe a student failed a class or two, or maybe a number of classes. In that instance, these families and students are able to work with our academic counselor and create a plan to get the student back on track for graduation. We have a number of students over the years who have come in with severe credit deficits, right? They're missing a bunch of credits, and they're on pace to graduate, 1 to 2 years late compared to their graduating cohort. Nobody wants that. Many times our academic team is able to help a student get back on track to graduating on time with their original class cohort. And for those that aren't able to graduate exactly on time, instead of graduating 1 to 2 years after their original graduation date, they're often able to finish just 1 semester after their original graduation date. We're really proud of the way that our 4x4 block system in X High School helps students where they are in their academics. Okay, so what is project-based learning, right? PBL. And what does PBL look like at X High School? According to PBL Works, which is just a tremendous resource for project-based learning, they define PBL as this. Project-based learning is a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging in real-world and personally meaningful projects, right? So X High School uses PBL to spark student interests, drive rigorous inquiry, and empower student impact in the real world. Now, students accomplish these stages through projects in their classes, but they also accomplish meaningful impact through community service hours, opportunities for internships, student leadership here on campus, personal interest projects, and connections with local businesses, entrepreneurs, and artists. A student may have a project in an English class where she is reading the literature, she is writing papers, but she's also given the opportunity to create a project that may have to do with one of her own interests, whether expressing the material through performance, art, or business. And we actually have a whole podcast episode dedicated to the intersection of student interest, classwork, business, entrepreneurship, coffee, and sword fighting. Yes, all of those tie together. How does Next High School support the social and emotional needs of its students? So we've talked about academics, talked about what kind of school we are. But honestly, not a lot of these program details matter if a student doesn't feel safe, secure, and supported in the environment that they're in. And so we really take seriously the social and emotional needs of our students. We are a small school built on strong, healthy connections between students, teachers, administration, and the home. We have a current maximum grade size of approximately 80 students, and so we are and will remain a small school environment where students can find a place to be themselves and really feel at home. Next High School strives to be a place where no student falls through the cracks. Our class sizes are small, 20 to 25 students per section maximum, with many sections, especially electives, at just 12 to 15 students per class. But also, every student at Next High School is enrolled in a small group advisory of 12 to 20 of their peers with a teacher advisor. Our advisory program is a safe place to check in throughout the week for everything from announcements and guidance to team building, games, competition, and culture. And our advisors are really the first point of contact between home and the school. And especially during an online learning setting, we'll include things like Zoom calls and opportunities to really stay connected with a small group of your peers, of your cohort, regardless of what else is going on in life and in school. Finally, Next High School employs a school counselor and a team of support staff that meets with students, provides recommendations to support families, to ensure every student's social, emotional, and academic success on their high school journey. Does Next High School accommodate students with special education needs or needs for additional support? Yes. Next High School's teachers and special education team work together to provide learning accommodations according to learners' specific needs, including their IEPs and 504 plans. And you can contact our special education team with any additional specific questions you have. Again, go to our website, nexthighschool.org, find our faculty and staff directory, and scroll down until you get to our special education staff, and just reach out. What are the qualifications of the teaching staff? What's their training, their experience, their certification? Like other public schools in South Carolina, Next High School's teachers are South Carolina state certified educators. They're in the process of obtaining South Carolina certification or are otherwise appropriately qualified to teach in their subject area according to state statute. Next High School is committed to the continual growth and improvement of its teachers. That ranges from ongoing professional development that happens here at the school to encouraging our teachers to pursue additional certifications or to attend conferences and learning opportunities outside of our school. Every Next High School teacher is observed, evaluated, and supported, working with the school administration, analyzing the data about their teaching styles and practices so that we can all continually improve teaching practices to improve student learning. How does Next High School provide a safe and supportive learning environment for its students? This is a big one. One of the number one concerns about parents and families when it comes to their students' education is safety. Next High School is a closed campus with one means of entrance and exit via a security door in the school lobby. As a closed campus, students may not leave and return to campus except for specific school-related or approved purposes. Instead, they remain on-site for the duration of the school day. Students under age 18 must be signed out by legal parent or guardian or an approved designee. Next High School performs various emergency drills, just like you would expect, fire drills, tornado drills, shelter-in-place, etc., all in accordance with state requirements, and also to make sure that all of our students and staff know exactly what they should do in the event of an emergency. What are Next High School's discipline philosophy and practices? Next High School's core tenets of culture and respect are the following. 1. Respect yourself. 2. Respect others. And 3. Respect the space. These tenets of respect guide our teachers and our administrators to help students identify their own behaviors and actions and move towards maturity, move towards restoration, move towards respect. We want students to be able to self-identify and take ownership of their own behaviors and move towards respect. When student behavior disrupts the learning environment, our teachers and administrators will redirect, provide positive reinforcement. They may separate students, provide assigned seating, etc. We will do what we can to help students see what's going on and correct their behavior before escalating to the next level of discipline. However, student safety is primary. There are times when some students' behavior is required to be escalated to our administration when a student is a pervasive disruption, distraction, or threat to the learning environment or other students. Next High School does not tolerate violence, weapons, drugs or alcohol, or anything that poses harm to the student body. In addition to disciplinary procedures within the school, Next High School's administration also works closely with local law enforcement, the Department of Social Services, family court, or other agencies as needed. When appropriate, students may be suspended or recommended to the Next High School board for expulsion. How does the class size at Next High School compare to the average class size in local public high schools? We talked about this a little bit before, but Next High School class sections are typically 20 to 25 students maximum at the high end. Some sections are a good bit smaller, with just 12 to 15 students per class. By comparison, some upstate public high schools can average 30-plus students in some of their core classes. Finally, here's our last question for this time around. How does Next High School prepare students for college admissions and careers? Now, this one's going to look a little bit different in the 2020-21 school year with the ongoing COVID-19 crisis, for obvious reasons. Things like on-campus college and career fairs likely will not be feasible for some time. However, typically, Next High School provides opportunities for things like college visits, on-campus college and career fairs, visits from college and career representatives, and internships. But just because we can't do all of those things in person or in the same way that we would normally do them, our support team will still be working with students and families to prepare them for college and career readiness. So one of the tools we use is a platform called Tallo, that's Tallo. It's an online platform and a free app. Students' Tallo profiles allow them to get connected with scholarships, college applications, and job opportunities all before they leave high school. Tallo allows students to showcase their unique project-based learning work for college admissions and applications. As a result of this preparation for college and careers, next high school graduates have a proven record of acceptance to colleges and universities, such as the University of Chicago, the Savannah College of Art and Design, Clemson University, Furman University, and many more. Next high school grads also go on to paid internships, to trade school programs, gap year programs, military service, and some directly into the workforce after graduation. We are so proud of the diverse opportunities that our graduates successfully pursue after high school. And we're always excited to hear from and hear about our students and what they're doing in the real world after they've left our halls. So that's it. Those are some frequently asked questions about our school. You can find a written version of these FAQs at nexthighschool.org/FAQ. And if you want to dig in on any of those questions further, or maybe a question that we didn't ask and answer in this podcast, you can email us at info@nexthighschool.org, or you can give us a call. Find our phone number there on the website. And that's it. Thanks for listening to the Next High School podcast. Go make an impact.